With Ukraine commemorating the Holodomor famine of the 1930s, here on the Press Review, we'll look at some of the comment in the media which has emerged on the anniversary. Current discussion centres around the historical interpretation of events. Most label them as an act of genocide by the Soviet authorities. Others, notably Russia, resist such terminology. Taras Kuzio, writing for Canada's Globe and Mail newspaper, is, for one, clear about what happened. He writes, "This month, as Russian President Vladimir Putin continues his aggression against Ukraine, Ukrainians around the world commemorate the Holodomor, the terror famine of 1932-1933. The murder of upwards of 5 million people in Ukraine by Stalin's communist regime came about from forced collectivization of agriculture, where starving peasants were denied the food that was exported for hard currency." Kuzio brings debates about Holodomor up to the current day, saying that it is one of among a number of events which the authorities in Russia are trying to airbrush out of history. That comes as part of a wider campaign to rehabilitate Soviet leader Joseph Stalin. Kuzio tells us, in contrast to Ukraine, Mr. Putin has set in motion a process of re-Stalinization in Russia, where the murder of millions of innocent victims is ignored and Stalin is praised as an economic modernizer and great wartime leader who transformed the USSR into a nuclear superpower. Kuzio argues that there is a link between the conflict currently raging in East Ukraine with Russian-backed militants and historical interpretations of Holodomor. Both, he believes, are part of Moscow's attempt to maintain regional hegemony. He says, in militarily attacking Ukraine to keep the country within Russia's sphere of influence, Mr. Putin is seeking to impose his country's vision of Stalin and the hiding of Stalin's crimes. Little wonder that large portraits of Stalin hang in Donetsk, capital of Putin's proxy separatist enclaves in the Donbas region of eastern Ukraine. Kuzio says that the West must resist attempts by Moscow to rewrite the historical record, calling Hitler and Stalin the antithesis of Canadian, US and European democracy. He ends with these words. Today, 16 Western countries recognize the Holodomor as a genocide against the Ukrainian people, while Russia continues its re-Stalinization, and many Russians see Stalin as a positive historical figure. Canada, the US and Europe will be in solidarity with Ukraine this month as it commemorates the Holodomor genocide. Fitting words then, as Ukraine marks the anniversary of the Great Famine of 1932-33. Some 4.5 million are estimated to have lost their lives. Candles for them are being lit across the country and indeed across the world. That's all we have time for today. Join us again for another press review. In Kiev, this is Ukraine Today.